Here's a question. If you could turn off your life like a light switch and turn it back on in 100 years, would you do it? What if you had to survive being boiled alive or frozen in the void of space to get there? For one of the toughest creatures on Earth, that's just a Tuesday, and you've probably walked right past one today without knowing it. Let me introduce you to the tardigrade. You might know them by their cooler nickname, the water bear. Picture a grizzly bear, shrink it until it's smaller than a grain of sand. Take away the fur and make it look like it was drawn by a cartoonist who loved sci-fi monsters. That's a tardigrade. 8 stubby little legs, a round face, and they waddle around on moss like they own the place. They look adorable, but under that squishy exterior lies the most advanced survival kit in biology. So what happens when the world falls apart? When the pond dries up or the temperature drops to something lethal? Most creatures die. The tardigrade does something way cooler. It commits to suspended animation called cryptobiosis. Imagine your body deciding life is too hard right now, so it just presses pause. The tardigrade retracts its head and legs, curls into a tiny ball, scientists call this a ton state, and shuts down its metabolism to almost zero. It stops being alive in the way we understand it and turns into a glass-like statue. Here's where the numbers get insane. In this tun state, the tardigrade can survive temperatures down to minus 272 degrees Celsius. That is 1 degree above absolute zero. On the flip side, they've been boiled to 150 degrees Celsius and just bounced back. They've been crushed to pressures 6 times greater than the bottom of the deepest ocean. They've been blasted with radiation that would turn a human to ash in seconds, and they just wait it out. But the craziest part, they've been to space. In 2007, scientists sent tardigrades into low Earth orbit. For 10 days, they were exposed to the vacuum of space. No air, no pressure, freezing cold, blasted with solar radiation. When they came back, scientists rehydrated them, and most of them woke up, started eating, and laid eggs. They survived the void. They survived the sun's radiation. We send humans up there with millions of dollars worth of life support, and this microscopic bear just floats around like it's no big deal. How do they do it? Scientists discovered that tardigrades produce a special protein that glassifies their insides. When they dry out, this protein turns their cells into a glass-like structure, protecting the DNA from breaking apart. Then when water is added, the glass melts back into liquid, and the cell resumes functioning perfectly. It's like taking a complex computer, unplugging it, dunking it in resin, and expecting it to turn back on a century later. It shouldn't be possible, and yet there are moss samples in museums over 120 years old. Scientists added water, and the tardigrades inside woke up and started reproducing. Imagine going to sleep in 1904 and waking up today. This leads to a wild question. What does this mean for us? Scientists are studying their DNA, trying to figure out if we can use these proteins to preserve human vaccines without refrigeration, or maybe help preserve human organs for transplants longer. There's even a fringe idea that if humanity ever wanted to travel to another star system, we might not need a giant generation ship. Maybe we just send tardigrades. They can survive the radiation, the cold, the nothingness. They are the perfect astronauts. So next time you walk through a park or scrape moss off a brick wall, remember you're walking past a creature that has seen things we can't imagine. A creature that survived the vacuum of space, the pressure of the deep sea, and 100 years of nothing. They are tiny proof that life is weirder, tougher, and more amazing than we give it credit for. And if a microscopic bear can survive the vacuum of space, I think you can survive your Monday morning. If you enjoyed this deep dive, let me know what other creatures to investigate in the comments. And if you want to wake up in your feed every week like a tardigrade waking from a 100-year nap, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks for watching.